Arthur had always known his destiny. As the last lighthouse keeper on the forgotten island, he felt the weight of history and duty on his shoulders. The lighthouse, a towering sentinel battered by relentless storms and surrounded by jagged rocks, had claimed countless ships over the centuries. The air was thick with salt and decay, and the constant roar of the ocean added to the eerie atmosphere. Arthur lived alone, his only company the ghosts of his past and the unending sound of the sea. Arthur's nights were long and lonely, filled with the responsibility of keeping the lighthouse's beacon burning. He moved through the damp, creaking wooden floors of the lighthouse with the precision of a man who had done this for decades. His rugged, weather-beaten face and deep-set blue eyes bore the look of a man who had seen too much. His graying hair and beard added to his grizzled appearance, making him seem like a relic from another time. His isolation was shattered one stormy evening by the arrival of Evelyn. A young marine biologist, Evelyn was in her early 30s, with short dark hair and expressive green eyes that sparkled with curiosity. She had come to the island to study the unique marine life and the mysterious phenomena surrounding the lighthouse. Her scientific approach often clashed with Arthur's superstitious beliefs, but she was determined to uncover the truth. Arthur was wary of Evelyn at first. He had been alone for so long that he found it difficult to trust anyone. But Evelyn's presence soon proved to be a blessing. She brought a fresh perspective to his solitary existence, and her bravery in the face of the unknown impressed him. Evelyn, on the other hand, was fascinated by Arthur's stories of the island and the lighthouse. She was particularly intrigued by the legends of the sea spirits that emerged every night from the depths of the ocean, intent on extinguishing the lighthouse's beacon. As the nights grew darker and the storms more violent, the spirits became more aggressive. They were the restless souls of sailors lost to the treacherous waters, seeking to lure more ships to their doom. Arthur's nightly struggle to keep the light burning became a desperate fight for survival. The spirits' wailing cries echoed through the storm, and their ethereal forms swirled through the walls, attacking with a vengeance. One night, during a particularly violent storm, the spirits launched their most ferocious attack yet. The lighthouse was besieged by furious waves and howling winds, and the sea spirits rose in full force. Their wailing cries echoed through the storm, sending chills down Arthur and Evelyn's spines. The spirits managed to infiltrate the lighthouse, their ethereal forms swirling through the walls and attacking with a vengeance. Arthur and Evelyn fought back with everything they had. Armed with only a few ancient relics and their sheer willpower, they made a final stand in the lantern room. The room was filled with the flickering light of the beacon, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The spirits closed in, their wailing cries growing louder and more desperate. Arthur knew they had to act fast. Arthur revealed a desperate plan to use the lighthouse's powerful beam as a conduit to banish the spirits back to the depths forever. Evelyn had to operate the machinery while Arthur fended off the spirits. He used his intimate knowledge of the lighthouse and the relics to hold them at bay. The spirits clawed at him, their icy fingers leaving deep gashes on his skin. But Arthur fought on, driven by a need to protect the lighthouse and the souls it had claimed. Evelyn worked quickly, her hands flying over the controls as she amplified the light. The machinery groaned and creaked, but it held steady. Arthur confronted the lead spirit, the tormented soul of a long-dead captain. The spirit's eyes were filled with rage and sorrow, and Arthur felt a pang of sympathy for the tortured soul. In a moment of catharsis, Arthur forgave himself for his family's death, weakening the spirit's hold. The lighthouse's beam intensified, enveloping the spirits in blinding light. With a final, deafening wail, the spirits were banished back to the ocean's depths. The storm subsided, and the lighthouse stood tall, its beacon shining brighter than ever. Arthur and Evelyn, battered but alive, looked out at the calm sea, knowing they had brought peace to the restless souls and to themselves. Arthur would always be the last lighthouse keeper, but he was no longer alone. He had found a kindred spirit in Evelyn, and together they had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. The island's secrets had been revealed, and its ghosts laid to rest. The last beacon would continue to shine, a symbol of hope and resilience in the face of the unknown.